אפשר? Hi, hello, my dear friends. Again, we meet for some Torah studying. And today, I choose to talk about mourning and comforting. Because today in Israel, most of our sisters and brothers go through the day of memorial for IDF victims and the victims of terror, and this is very heavy day. We also in Chabad movement, we experienced last 1 week also big loss. Our colleague, Chabad emissary from Hanover, Germany, passed away. Emissary, Shaliach of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, father of 8 kids, left his community. And I thought it's a good idea to discuss a little bit. So, what we see in Jewish law, when somebody loses his family member, then we have something we call Shiv'ah. Shiv'ah means that after the funeral, we sit at home and we do some mourning activity. During this time, many people are coming. Not only close friends, some even people that weren't in contact with you, they just come and people sit with you and talk to you. And usually at the end comes the comforting act, and the people are telling to the family members, המקום ינחם אתכם בתוך שאר אבלי ציון וירושלים. Which means God will comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And that's the law, that's the habit, that's how it is done. If we think about it, we find something unusual. This person lost his father, God forbidden, or his sister, or maybe wife or husband. We of course wants to comfort, but how does that is related to Zion and Jerusalem? So first we have to explain, when we talk about the loss, mourners of Zion and Jerusalem, we mean the loss of Holy Temple, because 2,000 years ago, Jewish nation lost the Holy Temple, the crown, the center, the heart of the Jewish nation. So how does that particularly private loss is related to the national loss, to Zion and Jerusalem, and how does that has to bring and comfort to that family? So first, the Rebbe in 1967, the Rebbe sent a letter to General Arik Sharon. He went through tragic in his private life, and his son cleaned a weapon or play with a weapon, but it wasn't in a real fight situation, and accidentally he got killed by the weapon through time he was dealing with the instrument. and he had very difficult time, and Rebbe sent him a letter and he explained him. I would like to take the explanation out of that letter. First, the first thing we do is to show empathy, to identify with the pain of that person. That's why in Shiva, many people are coming and they're telling them, yes, you are going through hard loss. This is your first level of family member, but it's also our loss. It's a community. It's the whole society is feeling the pain. Like in Jerusalem. Of course, the people who lived in Jerusalem and around Jerusalem, they had the biggest pain. But all the nation felt it. So, being there at that moment, emotionally sharing the pain is very basic and first stage of comforting. And then there is another hint in that verse, the deeper side of that verse. What is in Holy Temple? When we look in Torah, we see that God is asking us to make him a home, a dwelling house in Jerusalem. So what we provide the stones, we provide the tree, we provide gold, everything what was needed for that dwelling, that home for God. But we provided the physical part. And then on the top of it, God dwelled, God revealed his spirit inside of that house. So, through the Holy Temple, the godly light, the Shekhinah, spread to all the world around. We had the menorah inside, the high priest used to light the menorah, we used to sacrifice offers there, we used to come and pray, and so and so. And when the Holy Temple was destroyed, it was just the physical part, just the body of Holy Temple was destroyed and lost. But the soul, the spirit, the godly presence, the Shekhinah is still there. That's why Jewish people and non-Jewish people are going to the Western Wall to pray, because Shekhinah eina zaza mimkoma. It says that the godly presence didn't disappear, didn't move anywhere, but it's still there. The same idea we can adapt and relate to any person or any loss. When somebody is suffering out of disease, it means that the body cannot present the soul in ideal condition, because body is just a dwelling for the soul. When a person smiles, when a person loves, when you look at his face, you see his personality, you see his mimic, you see his eyes, you see his laugh and smile. But it's not the body, it's the personality, it's the soul that is expressed through body. And that is what we miss when we lose somebody. We miss his smile, we miss his love. But we have to remember, the body came from earth. and the soul came from God itself. The soul is a godly soul, and that soul is immortal, didn't disappear, just was transferred to another dimension. Is not in a physical level, but definitely the soul is exist. The soul is connected with her family member, take care, pray for them, and looking forward to see them living fully life and doing good deeds and Torah, commandments. And that's what makes her the pleasure. Once we remember that the personality of the victim or the person that was gone is not dependent on the body, didn't disappear, it's immortal as the godly presence in Jerusalem. Of course, it's painful. It is painful because we cannot have two-side communication. We cannot listen to her. We cannot talk to her. We can talk, but we cannot listen. So it's not two ways as we used to be. So I will just finish with one story about one couple that lost their son, and they got depressed. They couldn't recover from mourning, and they went to psychologists, they went to rabbis, and they went to priests. They went to many people who really tried to help them, but they really felt that they cannot lift themselves. And one friend recommended them to go to talk to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. They went to talk to the Lubavitcher Rebbe in a private. And when they came, of course, the Rebbe saw the depression on their face. They start to talk and tell him the story, and both of them start to cry. And all of a sudden, they saw that the Rebbe is crying with them. There were three of them sitting and crying. That was the first time that somebody really cried with them. While the Rebbe showed them the empathy and identify with them completely, it was the first stage of comforting. You are not alone with your loss. This is our loss. This is part of our national loss. Second was that the Rebbe explained them, asked them to think that their son went to a long distance. Imagine if your son went to big distance, different country, very far away. You cannot talk to him, but you can send him package. You can send him letters. You can send him gift. How would you feel about it? So they said it would be difficult because he is far away. Separation is difficult, but they will be happy and they will try as more as possible to send him package. So the Rebbe said, this is exactly the situation. Your son is in heaven and he is in a good place. And he is good. He is in a good condition. If you want to send him something, do some good deed, do a mitzvah. It will cause him a spiritual pleasure. This is the second, deeper idea of comforting. To know that mortality is just about body. and not about the soul. Personality and person is still here. But the final and the complete comfort will be when Mashiach will come. We know the 13 principle of Rambam Maimonic in Judaism. The 13th principle is about resurrection of the death. When Mashiach will come and the dead will resurrect and come back to life, and the Holy Temple will be built once again, we will all be happy, and we will, hopefully it will be soon, and people will not spend tears anymore, just tears of joy and happiness and unity. Amen. Sooner, Be'ezrat Hashem.